Very good evening, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from Market Calls, and welcome everyone to Market Profile Structure and Understanding Emotional Traders using Market Profile. So that is what we're going to learn in today's session. I hope the audio and video quality is good enough to kickstart with the session. A little bit about me. My name is Rajendran. I'm trading the market since 2006 onwards. I'm more of an index derivative trader. And currently, I'm using Market Profile and Orderflow Analytics. Since 2012 onwards, I've been actively using Market Profile and Orderflow. And prior to that, I've been a system trader. I use the systems since 2009 to 2014 to be precise, 2014 September. Till that time, I was a system trader. And after that, I shifted my profession completely into Market Profile and Orderflow. Still, I do use trading systems mostly as a supportive study for my Market Profile and Orderflow Analytics. So today, I'm going to explain some of the systems and also some of the structure, right? So what are the structure that as a trader, as a beginner of Market Profile, they should understand, and why analyzing the market structure is so important is what I'm going to explain in today's session, right? And I'm also the founder of Market Calls and co-founder of AlgoMojo. And AlgoMojo is an automated trading platform, which is built by the traders for the traders. And let's quickly get into the session here. I hope the audio quality is good enough, right, to kickstart. All right, great. Thanks, Amit, Kishore, and Ramkumar. So without any further delay, we'll quickly kickstart with the session. So first I'll try to, instead of running the PPTs, right, I'll go and show you the market profile structure. So this is a current structure of Nifty. You see this lines, it runs through back and forth. So for simplicity purpose, what I am going to do, I'm going to right click and then I'm going to go to indicators. I'm going to change the length of the letters. So you see that the letters are very tiny here. It's very hardly very difficult and very visible, very tough to read what is happening in the chart. So what I'm going to do now, for simplicity purpose, I'm going to keep it as like something like maybe 80 or something. That could give some readable information. So I'm just changing the TPO size. Even this also, it's pretty small only because markets has been a bit volatile last couple of days. Almost 300 points plus fluctuation happening in the last two trading sessions. So I'm going to start with Nifty and Bank Nifty charts. I'm going to change it to fixed. I'm going to say like maybe 100, apply, and I'll press OK. Now, how many of you are new to Market Profile? If you're new to Market Profile, you can just type new so that I can have a fair idea how many of you people are already new to Market Profile. Saurav is new, Ramkumar is new, Streyas is new. Looks like many other people are already familiar with Market Profile. All right, doesn't matter. So for the people who are very new to Market Profile, let me tell you, Market Profile is more of a study which combines price along with price distribution. Now, for whom it is useful, if you ask me, it is mostly for traders, not for investors. Investors, can they use? Yes, they can use, but in a different way, they have to use it. But it is a study more for intraday traders and very, very short-term traders. Scalpers can use it. And intraday traders, they can go and use it. The positional traders, they can go and use it. Right? So what Market Profile does is, it explains how price and time is involved. You know, price and time is nothing but price distribution. So to explain what is price distribution, let me go and give you a small sample over here, how a price distribution looks like and why Market Profile is more powerful than any other trading studies. Let me go and explain with a simple example here. Let us say, imagine a price action, last Friday's price action itself we will take. So price opened here and then it dropped quickly and it got back up. It went rallied back up and then again it started coming down, went up, again coming down, again back up, again coming down. Again was back up, again going down. So this is what it was happening, and finally got back down and pulled back up, and finally a little bit down. This was the last Friday's activity. Now, what we can learn as a beginner trader, I am very, very new to market profile. So what I can learn from this? What you can learn from this is, if you draw a line at this particular place, you could be seeing that the price is getting touched multiple times. But this is what we can see, like frequency of how many times the price is getting touched. So this is what we count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 9 times that particular price got touched. Maybe if I draw a line here, it was only 2 times it got touched, 1 and 2 times, 2. Maybe if I try to draw a line over here, maybe it could be like 4 times, 1, 2, third touch, and 4 times it got touched. So how many price it is touching, it is more important from a very, very short-term trader. It helps traders to narrow down their trades. You know, why it is so important? If you ask me, from a scalper perspective or from an intraday trading perspective, this is very, very important. There's something called price discovery process. So if I assemble the price action every half an hour, I generate a letter. You can see that this is the diagram here. Every half an hour, a letter is getting generated and it tracks the price action. So what you're seeing on the extreme right-hand side is the price action. Letter A is the first half an hour bar. Letter B is the second half an hour bar. And letter C is the third half an hour bar. It doesn't track the open, high, low, close, all those things. It tracks today's open, which is represented with the letter O, right? So both are same type of profile only. This is a composite profile, a daily profile. It's the same price action. It is more of a split profile. Split profile is as good as like watching an intraday 30-minute charts. So it is nothing but as good as watching a 30-minute charts. But the daily profile, every day one profile will get generated. This profile shows what? It shows price distribution. Price distribution. Maybe I'll show you last Friday's activity. I'll go and simulate last Friday's activity. In fact, somebody in Twitter asked me how we should simulate the playback activity. In AmiBroker, there is a feature called bar replay, whereas in NinjaTrader, we have a feature called playback. Playback is way powerful compared to AmiBroker's bar replay. The reason is playback, we can simulate the actual market simulation. So I'll disconnect and I'll go back to playback connection. I'm going to go and simulate the last Friday's price action. I'll also tell you what was running in my thought process. In the meantime, I'll also pull up what was my thought process, what was my thinking on last Friday, and what was my thinking on last Thursday also. So it's a long thought process which we had last 3 days, because very intensive things has been already gone in the markets. You know, last 2 days has been a very clear-cut trend. So this is Wednesday. So we have a Slack community. We've been running the Slack community since 2016 onwards. Most of the days we do participate and talk about market activity. So Thursday, October 28th, right? So to go with positional short or not need to be decided today. This is when Nifty itself was around 18,000, somewhere around 200 plus level, 210 level. Yesterday's extreme exhaustion made me to step away of positional bearish view. I was having a positional bearish view a day before, right? So one day before I attempted to short, but then last minute I closed my position because I saw some threat from the indicator, so I have to step away. And again, I was back in shorts, right? Taken P at the open. This is when? This is on the expiry day. On the expiry day, we are expecting price to focus towards, positional focus towards 17,850 levels. This is why, because of there is a G2 level in Nifty. So it was G2, technically it is a G2 level, but practically if you see, it is more of a G3 low. So I was expecting in next 2 days, I'm expecting, not immediately, but next 2 days, I was expecting Nifty to come to 18,000 levels. And positionally, maybe max to max by Monday, I was expecting price to hit 17,850 levels. But frankly speaking, I never expected a big crash, a single day. It's a single day Nifty came and touched 17,850. But I'll tell you why I expected 17,850 later on. Okay, so I will shift this for a time. And then what happened? I was mostly trading only in P's. So this is what I had traded. Not completely, but half of the market I stepped away and mostly get out of the system. I haven't stayed the position for a longer period, but yes, I missed halfway through. I traded till 18,000. And some of the other places I again took a PE and then scalped, but I just got out in the middle. Halfway, I just totally exited. I haven't participated in the complete downtrend. Right, so I'll say like mostly going neutral for the day. This is when? This is mostly around 2 o'clock. Till 2 o'clock, I was playing on the downside. Until then, after that, I just stopped playing on the downside. But then the market continued down throughout the day, right? Let's come back to the structure here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to run the 29th, that is yesterday's structure. So I was holding a bearish view, but then that bearish view on Friday, it totally changed into a bullish view. I started trading mostly bullish positions. Now remember what is happening, how to understand the emotions running through the profile. One of the most important advantages, like using market profile, we can understand what is exactly going on. It is very difficult to capture all those information from the price alone. So price is, if price is king, right, I would say like price distribution is an emperor. Let me go and run the simulation here on 29th. Hopefully it will run. So it takes a little bit of time to run, but anyways, because the calculations of market profiles are a bit intensive, so it needs a little bit of time to compute the market profile up to that point, and then it starts running from there. If it is not, yeah, it is there. So let me run. So you see here, we can run it at an 1 time of the speed. If it is running at a 1 time of the speed, it is more or less running at a market speed, right? So market speed, it is running. Price opened here. Notice where the price opened. Price opened kind of just 1 TPO. Only 1 TPO, right? So it's not 1 TPO, by the way, it's a couple of TPOs only, because however, if for simplicity purpose, I had used a different TPO size. So forget that. So price opened and instantly it dropped. It dropped what? It dropped almost how many points? Almost more than 200 points, 200 plus, very close to 200 points, there was a crash. Within 15 minutes, the price dropped and it was hanging at the lows. And this is where I took a long. In fact, my long I took very early itself, a little bit, I think around 9:18, I took my first long. I took a long. The reason is I see this selling as an extended selling, emotional selling. remember, every time the price falling, just go back and check the data. Every time the price is falling 200 points down instantly, immediately, just like that, majority of the time what you will get is mostly a pullback. Even if it is a 200 points gap down and price is not falling down below that, usually the price pulls back. It is more of an emotional activity. Or maybe I can tell you with a very simple example. Probably I can show you AMI broker charts. AMI broker charts, or maybe I can pull up a price chart also. I'll go and open a price chart from here itself. Why to go for AMI broker? We can do it here itself. I'll go to a 1 minute chart. 1 minute chart of Nifty. So this is 1 minute chart of Nifty. 29th, right? So 29th is what we've been talking about. So price open here, it started dropping down and it started coming back down. Maybe I'll try to come up with the AMI broker itself better. Here is the candlestick charts. The chart what I'm showing you is a 1 minute time frame charts. Notice hardly how many minutes. If I am watching on a 5 minute time frame, probably first 5 minutes it dropped drastically, and second 5 minutes also it dropped and then it stopped there itself. When I'm seeing from the profile structure, right, what I'm seeing here is like yesterday, what happened is more important compared to what is happening running right now. So yesterday, it is more of an emotional structure. It's a price drop with a lot of anomalies. Anomalies are like gaps in between the structure. So if I count the gaps in between the structure, it is not a smooth structure. So there's like 1 gap, 2 gap, and 3 gaps, 4 gaps, 5 gaps, and 6 gaps in a row. 6 gaps in a row indicate already markets are emotional. People are chasing the price. People are just blindly coming and trading the price action. So this is more of an emotional trading activity. Emotional trading activity. And in fact, it was a trend day also. It's a trend day as well. It is an emotional trading activity as well. Trend day in the sense price opened and it keeps on dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Throughout the day, majority of the time, price was only dropping. But structure-wise, if you could see, a lot of anomalies are in between. It is an indication that classical trend day, but traders are only chasing the price. Traders are chasing the momentum. Now notice here, price opened and quickly it started dropping down. Now from the order flow, we quickly recognize that it is a weaker level. Usually it is going to pull back. A day high test is likely to be happen. So I took my long options. But then I made a small mistake. I started buying a out of money options, 18,000 call option. 18,000 call option is what I bought. There's no harm in buying a 18,000 call option here, but I don't know, for some reason it haven't went well. I think I bought somewhere around 74 or 75 roughly is what I bought around. And I made an exit around 91 or 92 is what I just took an exit. But crazy price action happened. Almost Nifty spot by the time was 17,640. It rallied back to the day high. Let me show you how it happened. So the letter A is what it started. Letter A price action tracks only first half an hour. That is 9:15 to 9:45. Let me run the price action here. I want to run it at 8 times faster. And see that the pullback was coming. The small hash symbol, it tracks where is the current price action. Now this is something which is not a new thing, which we had done that a various amount of times. Remember one thing, whenever there is a maximum panic is there in the markets, that is where the maximum trading opportunity is also there. I strongly believe in that. And that is where the crowd themselves, they go wrong. That is where the crowd takes an emotional trading decision most of the time. Most of the traders in the markets, now, I'm not talking about any trader particularly, but majority of the traders, they go wrong when there is an emotional activity is happening. People only see the price and they go and take a wrong decisions. This is where many people think like, oh my God, the markets are crashing down. That is the kind of thinking which was running in most of the mind, but that is where the opportunity, the trading opportunity is also at the maximum. Now, what was my view on that particular day? Right, so this is like yesterday. So 922, exhaustion in Harley, taking positional long in Nifty towards 18,200. Initially, my thought process was like towards 18,300. That is what I thought initially. I was looking for an price action to come back up, and then later on I went neutral for the day. And 1043, I traded a couple of Cs. So I took mostly Cs. I said right. So one of the C I traded was like 77 is what I entered. But then I managed to buy something around 80 also. So mostly around 918 I bought around, and closed around 93. As I said, I think some IV crash would have been happened in 18,000 call option. One of the reason I stepped away, that particular day I never traded 18,000 call option later on, because I quickly realized that 18,000 something is wrong with the option. So I moved to another 100 strike closer, 17,900. Later on I traded 17,700, 17,800. That is what I traded rest of the day. So what was my learning here is like I've seen that as an emotional trading activity, right? So getting that 18,000 was a bad idea. Haven't performed up to the mark. Maybe IV crash would have been happened already. Most of the time, the way the price action went faster, the price would have been what it would have happened. The way the price went up, most of the time it would have been at least the price action would have been went from 77 to 120 or at least something like that. But it never performed at all to the expectation, despite Nifty coming back up almost 200 points back up. So this is where I exited one of the Cs, and then I took another CE at C period. B period run from 9:45 to 10:15. So you can see the time here, means another 15 minutes. It will be closing and C period will start running. So simultaneously, you'll be seeing both the structures. One is a split profile, another one is a regular profile. Regular profile is what? It talks about the price distribution. And that price distribution is very, very important in tracking overall what happened for that particular day. How emotional traders are. What location traders went emotional. Now, how we should deal with them. How long to wait for a trading opportunity. So let me speed up the auction a little bit. So I'm just running it on 20 times faster, or maybe even 30 times. Notice the price action. Price opened, it dropped a lot, hardly 10 minutes, but quickly rolled back up. In my comment, so we run a traders cafe where every day we talk about the market scenarios live. I was expecting when that zone was broken, I was expecting market to go up to 17,950 plus levels. That was my expectation, 50 or 60 kind of levels. So I was having the price itself start moving back up. I was having a limited bullish bias. I was trading mostly the Cs, but I started seeing something very interesting. The interesting point here is like, this is where the 3 times the market had traded. 3 times, right? So this is the zone. Probably you can see the letter A, B, C. 3 times the price got touched. So maybe I thought like maybe that could be the zone. Maybe that could be an equilibrium point for that day. So I thought like maybe I should start trading the Cs. If at all I'm seeing some nice corrections, I should start seeing the Cs. I exited the position saying like I am willing to trade the markets only on the dips. So D period started. So D period went very close to 17,940 odds. It does some push. I haven't participated in these rallies at all. So the price action, you can see that now price is deviating from the center point. You can see that most of the time here, either here or here is there, that distribution is getting built 3 times. The 3 times might go to 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So that odds are here. So if the odds are here, you know that it's a limited upside. Trying to trade longs here is very, very dangerous. It's a very dangerous sign. You should be aware about that. Maybe you can try some shorting opportunity if you're seeing that. You see that price comes back to the center point. It's a routine thing that we do watch the markets. Now we can see that the price action is now 5 TPO wide over here. 5 times the price action is coming and revisiting those levels. That is a very, very important metric. Why the price does that? How frequent the price does that? It's all we'll be discussing about such kind of structures, right? That's where the price structures are very, very important. These informations, the structure formation, if you know more detail about that, you know how to deal with that particular day. Now, many traders' question is like, what I can expect, where the market could go. At least here we can say like at what place the price will be anchored. Repeatedly, what price will be touched again and again and again. Now, again, I started trading a couple of Cs over here. Every time the price started going down, I started look for some pullbacks. This I traded. And when the price dropped, again, I started trading towards the center. Again, the price dropped, again, traded towards the center. So I was mostly attempting to playing the call options only. Even though markets are dropping down, every drop, I traded some call option and exited call options and then exited call options and then exited. That is what I've been doing mostly. In fact, let me pull up. So mostly if you would have seen my yesterday's structure, I traded only the CE structure. CEs is what I had traded mostly. And these are the trades I had done. Mostly the CE trades is what I've been doing mostly. Though markets are falling, like I've been trading mostly on the CE side. And there is a primary reason for that I will be explaining. Right? Luckily, one trade got stuck in between, but then I managed to get out in the very next trade. It's the next 2 trades I managed to get out. So this is one trade which got stuck. So where I took around 124 and I have to exit around 99 is where I had exited. And then later on, I managed to recover those losses. It's not a loss, but my P&L dropped and then I had to recover the trade by trading another Cs in the last 411 and 429. So market was moving faster. So relatively, I'm able to exit a bit faster. But there are reasons. These reasons are mostly depends upon the order flow. But my primary analysis, this entire trades are initially, I used market profile to trade. And very few trades I used. The initial trades, I used these trades. I used to use both market profile and order flow. And this trade is purely because of the order flow over here. So in between all these trades, I took only based upon the market profile price rotations. So what is a price rotation? First of all, let's try to understand what is a price rotation over here. So price rotation is something like, you see that prices keep on anchoring toward the levels. So what is that level exactly? Exactly 17,860. Here is the price action. This is a center point where the price itself moving up. Again, it started coming down. Again, started going up. Again, coming down. Again, going up. Again, coming down. It's repeatedly touching those levels. So every time it was dropping down, I traded towards the center. Again, it was dropping. I traded towards the center. Dropping down, I traded towards the center. So likewise, I was scalping mostly. I was scalping for some 4 points. Repeatedly, I was scalping. And I was able to make some 3 to 4 times I made such kind of trades. Because I know that that is a center point. Price repeatedly rotates towards the center. And at the same time, I also seen some threat in the markets also. I also noted that letter D, E, F, G, H. The price itself keep on dropping down. Midday, I also alerted saying like probably it's not looking good. Let me also say where exactly it is. During middle of the day. Remember, one time framing is down there, which is not a good pattern for longs. This is around 1226. That pattern was keep on going on. One time framing is something like price keeps on making continuously lower highs. So D period high, notice the D period high. So the D period high is here and E period high is also here. It's coming down. F is also coming down. G and H are exactly same. I is also coming down. The price action itself repeatedly coming down over here. This is something which is not a good idea to go and trade against those one-time framing, because most of the time one-time framing is one form of an attitude generated by the traders. If they are one-time framing, usually there'll be a day low testing odds could be happening in the markets. So I was aware about that, but still one of my trade got stuck. I thought like maybe one more time I could be seeing a center point, but it haven't happened. So I had to cut off the positions. When the price started coming down, I had to cut off the positions somewhere here. That is the one of my trade that got stuck. So I had to exit. I thought like it's not going to work anymore. So I have to exit the position. Maybe I'll try to check if at all one more longs I can trade. I will trade, but I will look for another setup. So it started dropping down. This is where one of my trade get caught. And moreover, trying to trade against the one-time framing itself dangerous. So I recognize that one of my indicators give a sell, and I pushed out of the markets. I mean, I voluntarily took an exit around those levels. So at this level, I was totally out of the markets. And K period started. K period is also went one-time framing down, but it does something very interesting in the order flow. So from the order flow, it made some pattern, and that made me to took another long to trade. So I was looking for some center price action. Not much, but since time was very limited, so I thought like maybe if the one time framing ends, I will give up. But that one time framing never ended at all. So, but I have to take a trade. I exited. I seen some mini pullbacks again, entered again. One more push. I took 2 trades in between, and I totally exited my positions. So price came up to here, and I have to taken 2 trades in this K period, right? So that was the second one was very quick, in fact. So in the meantime, there was a news also happened in Karnataka. I'm from Bangalore. So in Karnataka, one of the famous actor, he died because of critical massive heart attack. So 2:30 is where the news happened. So I closed all my positions, and then I said like, okay, the day is done. Let me move ahead. Like I thought like maybe I should go back home, because in Karnataka there was 144 has been imposed. In Bangalore, 144 has been imposed. So I had to rush up back to home. And that is how the day has been done. But what is so important here is, right, the price rotation. How many times it rotated? That is a trading opportunity. For the scalpers, it is a very important trading opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times a particular price action has been repeated. Now, this is something which is not something which is very rare. It is something which happens 60 to 70% of the days, trading days. Almost most of the days, you'll be seeing this kind of a price, what we call it. Somebody is asking, Manish Rana is asking, anomalies or gaps in the profile. Yes, anomalies are gaps in the profile. Or some places you can also see like rough edges are also part of the anomalies. Rough edges, gaps in between the structures, we call it as anomalies. Rough edges means something like where I can show you rough edges. This is mostly a clean structures. These are smooth, symmetrical structures. Rough structures we call it as asymmetrical structures. These kind of structures we call it as asymmetrical structure because it is not looking like a bell curve shape. It is not a smooth structure. So here, very less gaps would have been seen, or almost no gaps would have been seen. These are very smooth structures. Very smooth structures are indication of a short-term traders. But sometimes when lengthier structures are happening, it could be either because of long-term traders coming and selling, or it could be because of emotional traders coming and selling, which we need to identify who is what based upon the structure. We need to identify. Sometimes we can recognize even long-term sellers, also long-term buyers, we can identify using those profile structures. So where we are talking about last Friday structure. So last Friday structure, what we can see here is, it is an organized price structure only. It is not a long-term coming and selling or something like that. So don't try to correlate FIs and DI activity with the price structure. Usually it doesn't matches at all, because what FI and DI doing and what the price structure is doing is totally different. I would say like it is a reasonable structure. After an emotional sell-off, market took a pass. That is what I am seeing the last Friday's activity. So this is a very good structure. We can call it as a symmetrical structure because 8 times the price action got traded. 8 times. 8 times means it is a highly symmetrical structure. Symmetrical structure. So one day before, it is not a symmetrical structure. It is more of an asymmetrical structure. Asymmetrical structures are mostly elongated structures, not a bulged one. It is more of a asymmetrical. Now, what is so important about asymmetrical structure? As I said, some of the asymmetrical structures can be emotional trading day also. It is an emotional trading day, by the way. And point of control also not migrated. If you see the point of control got touched only, how many times? 6 times only it got touched. Anything less than 7 times, 6 times, 5 times, 4 times, it is more of an elongated structures only. So the price itself keep on falling down. People blindly chasing the momentum. In markets, right, many traders, they chase the momentum. So they see the breakout, they immediately come and jump and trade the breakouts. Right, majority of the traders which I had seen, they are mostly swing traders. The swing traders, what they do, now the price is breaking out, they look for a breakout trades. They look for momentum. They will look for the momentum to continue. But I am also a swing trader sometimes, but I shift myself quickly I change like a chameleon. I change my trading style. Right? This particular day I was trading only P's, but here I was trading the rotations. Here I was trading the trend. And I was trading the trend till 1800. Though I have more views, I haven't done with that. I said let it go. So if I missed a move, it's fine. The very next day, I started trading the C's. Completely opposite direction, but I was not trading the trend. I was trading the rotations. Initially, I traded the trend reversal. Later on, I traded the rotations. Look at the price action, what I had done here. So on 28th October, I was doing a trend trading. Trend trading. Every time the price going down, I was buying the P's. I scalped the P's on the downside. But then when the price opened the very next day on 29th October and immediately dropped, I was looking for a trend reversal. So trend reversal happened. And after that, I started looking for rotations, rotational trades. So when it comes to market profile, all kinds of styles are possible, like kind of an all-rounder. You know what an all-rounder means. If you watch cricket, you know what an all-rounder means. So you'll be able to sense the trend. Yes, the trend is happening and you should stay in the trend. And when the trend is reversing, you know why it should reverse. That is what we call it as a context. We know the reasons why the price action should reverse from here. And then rotational trades, reasoning why the market will rotate or where it will rotate. What is the reason that it should rotate? So this is what one can do with market profile. if it is a trend following strategy, something like super trend, right? It is always a trend following strategy. Every time the super trend level got taken out, it takes a long or short. It will be looking for a continuation of the longs. It is only one tactic. It always follows. But here we change our approach, depends upon the market conditions itself. Because market conditions are not going to be the same thing. Markets are not going to move in a straight line, right? So sometimes market stalls, market consolidates, market do some volatile sideways price action, and then it keep moving up. Sometimes at an intraday level it will do, sometimes on a monthly scale itself it will keep on going sideways. So market profile is one of the best tool to trade the sideways markets. Not only the sideways markets, but also trending markets as well, trend reversal markets as well. And you add order flow on top of that. Now what happens is, very interesting thing happens. It helps scalpers to take very tight risk-based trades setups. That is what the price setup it offers. Now, what is there in last Friday's activity? The last Friday's activity, what happened is something emotional. Already we are seeing an emotional activity. Last Friday, price opened and it dropped emotional. This one time framing, which continued, it also went emotional. Let me continue the day as well. Let it continue because the letters will be from letter A to letter M. In a day, we'll be having 13 letters. Only the last letter ran from 13:15 to 13:30, right? Only it ran for 15 minutes, but it doesn't matter. Rest all the letters run for 30 minutes. If you're a beginner, you can use a candlestick along with that. In my case, what I will do is like I'll be using my own indicators as well. One of my indicators, some of my indicators are already holding negative for a reason. This is wheel intra V5. It's been there negative for quite some time now. Almost 500 points drop in Nifty. Still, it is holding negative. But when I come and using the quick flip as an indicator, this is where the indicator is mostly useful. I'll tell you very important thing. It is showing an exhaustion. Last Friday, it showed an exhaustion. That's one of the reasons I took a long over here. Long, and then the price went up. I closed my exit. Now again, end of the day, there was another exhaustion. So whenever this exhaustion happens, I give up my bearish view. Generally, I give up my bearish view most of the time. Sometimes it goes, very rarely I will be beaten down, but majority of the time, the statistical odds are most likely in the favor of longs. So I would start trading the longs. If price action start moving ahead, I'll be mostly looking for a long opportunity from Monday onwards. This is one of the primary reasons. Here also, when this happened, I stopped my bearish starts. I was having a bearish starts, price came down and I stopped my bearish starts. I started trading both longs and shorts. So price went up, I traded longs, I traded shorts, again, mostly traded longs. In this entire mode, I was mostly trading the long opportunity. But once again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stop having a complete bearish view. I am going to arrest. Any shorts, I will prefer to trade only intraday. But any longs are coming in, I would try to trade positionally from here. Why positionally? You might be asking why positionally. Is there any connectivity to the price structure? Yes, there is a very, very important structure connectivity is there. So when it comes to Nifty futures, right, we are having a prominent point of control. I'm sorry. Here we are having a prominent point of control. Notice the structure, the prominent point of control, a PPOC, means the center point is touching almost 10 times in a row. If it is touching 10 points in a row, you can see that here also it is touching 10 points in a row. And here is also it is touching 10 points in a row. Now this prominent point of control is what I would like to call this as a temporary resistance. It is one of the part of the game. We use this as a temporary resistance. Likewise, we have many classification. I started, one of the reason I took an, this particular day, we had on 28th October, we started having a bearish start. Positional bearish starts is what we started. So this is a temporary resistance. Generally, this kind of resistance plays down 3 days, 2 days or 3 days in a row. But eventually, max to max within 7 to 9 trading sessions. That means already 2 sessions are over. Next week, we have only 3 sessions. So within the next 2 expiries, I am expecting price to come back to the prominent point of control. So that is one reason. And from indicator perspective, as I said, I am seeing an exhaustion. So I am totally giving up my bearish starts. Even if Monday, if the price is going to take down and then coming back also, I will be mostly likely to trade the longs, or straight away if it's keep going up also, mostly I'll be trying to trade only the longs. Longs, I'll go neutral. Again, longs, I'll go neutral. If sideways, I'll try to scalp in between. So I'll be, when I say market will go to 17,350, right? It will not go in one chart. Very rarely market straight away goes to 17,350 odds. Market had done that. There are many times within one day, market went up to 70,350 levels. I'm not saying like within one day it will go up. The reason is last Friday, if you could see in India VIX also started collapsing. India VIX also started collapsing, which I've been monitoring. In fact, I think the numbers are pretty wrong as of now, but last Friday it was down by some 4.7 or 4.4% is what I had seen. Probably it is an adjusted close. But last Friday, despite the negative fall, VIX started cooling down a little bit. So that is another thing which I've been monitored. Right? So what I monitor, like thus far, overall, I'm looking for a day tone ending with negative, but VIX crushing 4 to 5% is what my expectation was. 322, VIX was like 3.55, and then 326, VIX down by 4.73. Finally, it adjusted to 4.4 or something like that. Maybe end of the day, it would have been adjusted to 2.72 or something. I'm not pretty sure, but let's check trading view charts. India VIX, right? Maybe it would have been adjusted close. Yeah, it is 2.72. Probably it would have been adjusted in the last minute. So if I would have been seen on the 1 minute time frame, VIX was crashing heavily in the last moment. Maybe it would have been adjusted to 17.4 because of the VWAP adjustments. It would have been adjusted to 17.42. But otherwise, intraday, the VIX has been crashed by, it went up to 4.9%. I had seen at some point in time, 4.94 or something. Now, so this is the prominent point of control. As I said, it is a temporary resistance, but it is a potential target. One of my favorite trade setups also. Positionally, we don't know when it will happen, but we know that next maybe 5 to 7 days, we can expect price to come back to this prominent point of control. Now, many people's question will be like, hey, markets are crashing like this. Don't you think it is a crash? As of now, I don't think so. As of now, I'm just seeing that it is a measure to scare the market participants ahead of the bigger IPOs. Next week, many important IPOs are coming in. One among them is Paytm. So since Paytm bigger IPOs are coming in, so maybe it is scaring the participants a little bit ahead of that event, and most likely near to the event, I'm just thinking that probably we will be getting back to within 1 or 2 weeks, right? So we'll be back to 18,350 odds. Maybe they can do it in 1 day also. Sometimes they do that if there is an extreme bullishness is there, but I'm not sure. I keep my thinking limited most of the time. If the markets are beating my thinking, it's perfectly fine, but I would like to keep my thinking limited. My expectation is like next 2 weeks, I'm expecting price to come back to at least one of the day. Within the next 2 weeks, I'm expecting price to come back to 18,350 odds. So one more important thing to watch out is the VIX factor. VIX should keep their heads down. I don't watch VIX during live market hours, though since it's a Friday, I do watch VIX. Since it's an important day, I do watch VIX. The rest of the days, I don't even care what VIX is doing. But maybe in a very short term, we should start monitoring VIX, not in real time, but maybe near to the end of the day, how the VIX is closing. That is what we need to focus. Watching VIX during real time doesn't make much of a sense, because in between you'll be losing a lot of trading opportunities most of the time. So watching end of the day VIX, you might have a fair idea probably what the market is, whether the market tension is easing out or not, whether it is getting reflected in the price or not. You know, right, sometime back also the market had done the same thing when I think Nifty was something like here, I believe, probably, if I'm not wrong, this crash, when this crash happened this particular day, right? October 1st, either October 1st or here, one of the place, either this place or this place, VIX started collapsing. Maybe I think this is the day, I believe, October 1st. October 1st, VIX started collapsing. When the price was keep on going down, VIX collapsed by 4.5%, or I think I also written an article about that sometime back. In market calls, I written an article about that. Yeah, this is where October 3rd it is. This is a day where Nifty was keep on going down. Exactly that particular day only, 4th of October, where the VIX was down by 648, and it is a Friday. Last Friday, it haven't crashed much, though there was a last minute drop. The day itself ended negatively, right? So what we can understand from here is, I also given a reason why there could be a short covering rally. A lot of important structures I had explained. One among them is the G3 high and failed auction, and then an AB power high. A lot of new interesting references was there last time. This time we have only one interesting reference. From the indicator perspective, we are having a very important reference, the exhaustion. That is what it makes me to stop taking a bearish view. I generally stop taking my bearish view most of the time. The reason is like here also. You could see here, this is one other place I stopped my bearish view. Right, so you know, this is another place. This is another place where I stopped my bearish view. And here again, I stopped my bearish view here. So again, I'm doing the same thing this time also. Probably I might try to take a bearish view. Only if price breaks and it starts moving down, I will take a bearish view. Until otherwise, I prefer not to take any bearish view at all. At this point in time, I'm seeing an exhaustion. And when exhaustion is there, I stop playing my bearish view. I start looking for a bullish view. When I say start looking for a bullish view, I'm talking about positionally. That doesn't mean like intraday, I will not go short. Intraday, if there is a shorting opportunity, I'll go short. Maybe sometimes what happens, sometimes though the view is bullish, market sometimes opens gap up. It opens gap up, or maybe it opens up, it moves up, it leaves a lot of footprints that it is a weaker structure. So generally price breaks and then it starts moving up again. Those are the places we might learn to trade the put options also. Put options followed by you should immediately reverse back to call options. But the view positionally is always going to be a bullish one. When I say bullish, it doesn't mean directly bullish, right? So it requires observation. If price opens and it keeps on moving up, that is a good activity. With if at all any good activity, good volumes are happening. If bad volumes are happening from the order flow, definitely I will look for a drop followed by a pullback. Right, so those things will be, you can do it only if you start using the order flow along with that tool. You can time those very, very short-term price action. Market profile helps you to understand the structure, understand the market participants, and order flow helps you to time the structures. And that too with a very tight risk management. All right. So the expectation here itself next week, we're also having a Muhurat trading day. So 2 days are more or less like a holiday only. Expiry is going to be very short, only 3 days left for the current weekly series. So one is maybe I'm expecting price to go very near to the prominent band of control, coming back down a little bit again, and again go back and hit the target. This is number one thing which I am looking out for. This is something like it could delay and it will take within by 2 weeks of time, it will take it up. But next week itself, that is the second case I'm talking about. Next week itself, within a week, within next 3 days, price will rally straight away and they will go and hit the target. And this is something which is which I am, if at all market is getting super intensive, price will go and hit within the straight line itself. But I would give this as a second priority. Majority of the time, my top priority is like price goes up, very close to the prominent band of control, doesn't touch us. It comes back a little bit of corrections, sometimes even deep corrections also. Again, does one more attempt. The why I'm thinking about like this, the reason is very simple. The reason is from the top-down analysis. If you do the top-down analysis, that is like if you watch the monthly scale, still we are in uptrend, still in uptrend. We have some excess. So last October series, we had an excess. Weekly, still we are in a sideways price action. Though weekly looks like it is falling, we are in a kind of a sideways price action. Right? The market itself moving in this zone, mostly. As long as price is contained in the zone, maybe another next 2 weeks, we could be spending within this band itself. So next 2 weeks, I would like to keep my expectation in a very, very limited fashion itself. Maximum my bullish thoughts will be towards 17,350 odds. Same thing is there with Bank Nifty also. It's not only with Nifty, it is also there with Bank Nifty as well. So Bank Nifty also, we are having a prominent band of control as a structure, right? So which acts like a temporary resistance. Price started keep going down, but eventually we don't know how far down. Most likely, I think maybe if at all the downside is done, 1 or 2 days of sideways, and they will start moving towards the AB power high and also a prominent point of control, which is like Bank Nifty getting back again to 41,500 in the next 5 to 7 trading sessions again, which is like approximately how many points? 2,500, more than 2,500 points. I mean, more than 2,200 plus 2,000 plus points. Let us see whether it will happen or not, right? Many people are literally scared of this price action. Yeah, it was scary because every time the markets are suddenly doing a huge price action, people suddenly they'll start anticipating a correction. But we have to ask ourselves how many times you had seen correction for no reason. I strongly believe for no reason a correction will never happen. If at all there is a correction is happening, there will be always a reason. At least last time 2020 when there is a crisis, right? So when March 2020 market started crashing down like hell, there was a strong reason behind that, coronavirus crisis. Everybody knows that. 2008 crash, it was a subprime crisis. 15, 16, it was more of an NPA crisis. Likewise, every crash, they have a solid meaning behind that. Just because the market is bullish and then markets are correcting, that doesn't mean like it should crash. And maybe it might happen. Maybe once in a while it might happen. But majority of the time, there will be a strong reason behind the corrections. Some economical reasons or some fundamental reasons will be behind massive corrections. Like 2018, there was a correction happened because there was a trade war tensions was going on. Now also people talking about maybe the Fed might limit the, probably the borrowing limit. What is it? They will call it the debt ceiling, right? So that talk is there. The due date is on 3rd of December. Everyone aware about that. Since everyone aware about that, market will crash and doesn't make the bears happy and then bears will live forever. That is how the market doesn't work most of the time. right? So it is a known thing that December 3, Fed might stop the tapering, or Fed might stop that. What do you could say? Like, there are a lot of things are happening in the US. But probably you can go back and check. I'm not a fundamentalist to talk more of all those things. But US markets are still not collapsing, right? So US markets are still closed last Friday at all-time high. It is the Indian market, it has started correcting, and that too in the last 2 weeks, which was quite anticipated. I also explained in my Slack community why we have to see a correction. What is the reason behind the correction towards 17,850 odds? So now looking into the structure, that makes me to think reverse side on. Most likely, I'm just looking mostly, but I would like to bet more on the long side as long as things are in my favor. As long as there is no serious downtrend is not happening, exhaustion is there on the Harley time frame, prominent point of control is there on the upper side. In fact, in Bank Nifty, it is slightly even more bigger targets. So every bullish trend, one should attempt to trade. There is no harm in trading the longs here. As I said, when markets are getting more emotional, traders tend to take a emotional view. That is where the crowd goes wrong. Majority of the time, I feel crowd was right most of the time. But very few places crowd goes wrong, especially when the markets are itself taking an emotional decision. The trader as a whole, they're taking an emotional decision. Market fools them most of the time. What about prominent point of control and poor lows on downside? I think that is a very old reference. It is a reference, very, very old one. So it is not like it's a new series. So I would prefer not to take any references from those levels, because it is November series. So I don't take any clues from those. Thus far, I don't go in the back, and I don't take any clues from there. So Shahzib Awan is asking, what is the name of this indicator? It's date divergence type. Delta divergence type. No, it is not delta divergence. It's something different. It's our own indicator called extreme indications. Probably if you're talking about this one, it is more of an extreme indications. Right? It's part of the Trade Studio. A small promo here before ending the session. So we are doing a complete mentoring program. Probably the details I already posted in the webinars as well. It is also available in the market calls section as well. Now this time we are getting more in-depth sessions on market profile, order flow, options trading. Many traders had recommended to keep options trading in TradeZilla, and trading systems. And also we had included one more important topic called market microstructure. So market microstructure is another topic that we're going to talk about here. Particularly, right? So this time we had extensively, we're going to talk about on concepts like market profile. We're going to talk about market context, what to anticipate, how to read the market sentiment using market profile, like understanding the emotion, how to understand the trading competition. Like there are times we'll be seeing weaker hands coming and trading in the markets. How to understand that weaker hands are coming and trading in the markets, and then trading nuances. And from Orderflow, we'll be learning fast scalping, how to do a fast scalping using Orderflow. There are tools like R Delta kind of tools are there. And then we do routinely use almost 24 strategies I'll be teaching in Orderflow techniques, which I personally myself, I use a lot. Most of the techniques I'll do use. What are the techniques I am teaching? All those techniques are traded, and I personally, I use most of those techniques. And all those techniques has been developed over the years. Nothing came overnight. So I've been watching market profile in Nifty, Bank Nifty, and also most of the top 10 Nifty counters. So over a period of time, we had developed this framework. And then a little bit of systematic trading. We also have a mix of indicators. We don't use as the indicator as a double confirmation. We use indicator as a supportive study, right? So, and we also use indicator for risk management to control our bias. So right now I'm controlling my bias. How? I am saying myself, hey, there is a exhaustion is there. So stop giving up your bearish thoughts. I know markets are going down, but give up your bearish thoughts. Look for a long setups. That is how I control my bias on the downside most of the time. So controlling the bias, I use systematic trading. Sometimes when I am going wrong, I use systems as an exit point. When I don't know how to exit, when things are, everything is going against my position. Like last Friday also, one of the position totally went against me. So I use indicators as one of my exit point. There, so I was watching one of the indicators, it turned negative. So I thought like, okay, chalo, let's give up and look for a next setup. And options trading. So options trading we'll be using for 3 criteria. As of now, I'm doing a direction trading, but there are certain different market conditions. I do hedged trades. Mostly when I am taking any positions in stocks, mostly it is hedged futures, mostly. So you'll be learning hedged futures. We'll be learning spreads, credit spreads, debit spreads, diagonal spreads, calendar spreads, all those spreads we'll be learning because different market conditions, we have to learn differently. We have to trade differently. Current market situation, it favors naked option traders. You would have known that most of the time, any traders who traded the puts last 2 days, they would have made a huge money because the market itself like that. Last 2 days, not only last 2 days, the entire October was like that. But that was not the case. If you see back in January, February, March, April, May, June, it's totally a different scenario. So different market conditions, you have to use a different option techniques. So which option techniques to use when? We'll be teaching those things also. And finally, market microstructure, one of my favorite subjects, which is very much connected to order flow. Though it is not directly connected to order flow, but it is indirectly connected to order flow. But it gives ample amount of information about how you should see the markets, how the dealers trade, how the wholesale dealers trade, how the institutional investors, they trade in the markets, what kind of technology they use, and the various different types of order flow, how the order flow gets generated, who are the liquidity providers, how they manage their inventory, and how to know the internals, market internals. So all those things will be covering under market microstructure. It's a very deep study, but since it is very much connected to order flow, I thought like maybe it makes sense to keep it as a separate subject itself. All right, so let me pause here. I guess you had learned something new in today's session. See you soon in the next session with more interesting setup. And next week, we're going to talk about yet another topic, most likely on trading inventory. We're going to talk about that. More and more interesting learnings are lined up. See you in the next week. Thank you.